And we are back here on KFYO Mornings with Dave King and Matt Martin. And, as always, Thursday morning, 7:35, it's the Car Pro now on the air. Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Doing well.
Well, good to hear that. Glad everything's going well. It
Yeah.
sounded like from your forecast you may have some rain coming.
No, we hope so.
Possibly. And I see you're driving around in a Mercedes like you're Mr. Super Cool today, aren't you?
I tell you what, this is a pretty car. It's a good follow-up to last week's car, which was the 2019 Cadillac AT. The fast coupe that I had last week. This car is very similar in a lot of ways to the Cadillac. It's a little larger, not quite as fast, believe it or not. This car's running 430 horses. The Cadillac had 460, but it feels as fast. Let me put it that way. This car's interesting because it's got a variation of the engine that I've not driven before. It's got a mild, what Mercedes calls a mild hybrid setup, so that when you jump on this car hard, and there's a gauge on the dash to show you this, when you jump on this car hard, then this hybrid system kicks in to boost the horsepower. So you pick up another 20 horses immediately, and then when you get off the accelerator, it's gone. But more importantly, you pick up 180 pound-feet of torque, which is a ton. So this car, when you're just driving it normal, performs well. It's got a nice exhaust sound, beautiful interior. But then when you really need that power, this 48 volts of electricity goes through it and kicks it up. It's pretty interesting. I'm seeing more and more different variations of engines these days as the automakers try their best to get their fuel economy up, as well as give people who want some performance that. So, interesting car. This car is so new, I didn't get a window sticker with it, which I normally do. In fact, this is the first time it's ever happened to me where I didn't get the MSRP or the fuel economy. I did get the base price of it, which is $73,700. But this car is very optioned, you can tell. So I'm going to guess it's going to be somewhere right around $90,000.
Yeah.
And, two-door cars are not for everybody. They look great, but they're not functional if you use the back seat a lot, although this one has got a decent-sized back seat, and Mercedes makes it really easy to get into it. There's a electrical switch on the back of both front seats that when you hit that, it electrically slides the seat forward as far as it'll go so people can get in the back seat easier. But pretty car, a lot of fun to drive. Probably wouldn't be my first choice just because it's coupe, but still, I can't see this being a volume car, but it does add to a choice for those people who do like coupes.
So, Jerry, we were talking about they're getting kind of interesting with the things they're coming out with as far as trying to keep up with like fuel economy and whatnot. What kind of changes are we seeing in the future as some of those standards get pulled back a little bit?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think we'll see, even assuming the standards get pulled back, and they're going to have to because there's no way they can make it anyway. But I think that all the automakers are committed to doing the best that they can to get better fuel economy, because that's kind of a hot point for shoppers. I think most everybody remembers $4 a gallon gas, and God knows when that could happen again, just immediately. So I think they'll continue to work on it. I think the last 5 years, the use of turbochargers, everybody's doing turbochargers now. I mean, Honda's putting turbos in their cars, and they were one of the last to come to the dance. Ford has made, I guarantee you within the next 2 years, there will not be a Ford engine made that doesn't have a turbo. There's a few now, but most all of them done, and it's been successful for them. They've marketed the EcoBoost engine very well, and especially in their pickups. And so, I think I think they'll continue to try to improve. The rate in which they improve will naturally slow down, and that's because they did all the easy stuff first. The turbos and the 8, 9, and 10-speed transmissions, cutting weight in the vehicles with the use of aluminum and that sort of thing. Cutting weight by not putting spare tires in cars, which just drives me crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Cut it somewhere else. Don't have a $90,000 car in my driveway without a spare tire. But that's what I'm seeing every week.
So, Jerry, we've got a lot of people that like to drive diesels around here, especially big trucks, farmers, stuff like that. And I've heard the first grumblings. I haven't heard it before, and just a few grumblings that kind of surprised me. And they think that Donald Trump and him pulling back some of these economic things are going to take the death away. Is that something that you've heard?
No, I have not. I wish they would, obviously. Because it's a pain for most people. Luckily, the price of it has come down. You can, if you shop a little bit now, you can get a 1-gallon bottle of DEF for $25, and I've seen it for a little bit less than that. And the automakers, all of them that I've had, the diesels in the last year, have put a gauge up there beside the fuel gauge. They put a DEF gauge, so you know when you're low. I don't know. I think the thing I'm watching right now, closer than that, is the president is supposed to make a move next week on E15 gasoline, which is going to be a real problem for people. So we're going to have to wait and see. But the rumors that I'm hearing are that some gas stations will add E15, and I'm talking about Texas now. If you're up in Iowa, it'll be a different story. Yeah. But they'll add, a choice for regular fuel, E15, mid-grade, and then premium. And then some stations will remove the mid-grade to replace with the E15. But I don't see anything so far that would say that E15 is replacing E10. And I hope that's the case.
Yeah, that not be good for some cars. Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
So, Jerry, let me ask you, if you're up to speed on this new NAFTA agreement, is this going to affect? I mean, are we going to start building more cars in America now and not in Mexico?
Well, supposedly, and I have tried to keep up with it. I think the biggest fear that the automakers had was that they would have to stop building in Mexico altogether, and that doesn't appear to be the case because the labor down there is so much cheaper. And, frankly, the quality has been very good on the cars coming out of Mexico. And then GM and Ford both have heavy investments in Canada. So I think the NAFTA thing, getting it settled, is a good thing, and I'm glad that they did, but I don't see any real huge change in the number in where the cars are built. And frankly, I never get that question. Where was this car built?
Yeah,
nobody seems to care anymore. There was a time when they did, but not anymore. It just seems like if it's a good car and it's priced right, they'll buy it no matter what.
All right, and Jerry, we're running out of time, but what do you have to highlight on CarProUSA.com?
We got the sales numbers in from September, which is kind of significant because General Motors only reports now every 3 months at the end of every quarter. So we got 2 months of a quarter we don't get the true picture because they don't report, which is really stupid. But we got the numbers, and for the month of September, sales were down 5% from a year ago. But what all these brilliant auto analysts forget is Hurricane Harvey hit at the end of August last year, and September was a huge month for new car sales in Houston. And so that affected the numbers. Frankly, I was tickled that we were only off 5% from a year ago. But we're going to deal with this the rest of this year because people bought cars for months in Houston. And there were 500,000 new cars sold just because of the flood.
Yeah. All right. And we just want to remind everyone that you're on from 11 to 1 on Saturdays right here on 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. And you can also check all the things that we've been talking about and more on CarProUSA.com.
I'll see you on the radio.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. You have a good day.
Back with more after this.